welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are back with This Week in Destiny. This week in Destiny, Bungie actually tries the bare minimum and informs you, the community. That's right, Bungie communicates, along with a bunch of other updates that you or I may or may not care about. And it may or may not be too late. If you're not first, at least you can be confidently last. That's the Bungie motto. All right, just before we get into the actual twab, let's check out Twitter. Bungie has come out and mentioned Iron Banner will be 2 weeks. That's right, Iron Banner is going to come out for 2 weeks. If PvP wasn't already dying, let's kill it for a guaranteed 2 weeks. Bungie, for some reason, forgot to put that in. Listen, you should have asked Christopher Barrett for help. He's used to trying to put it in. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's a little effed up, but here we are. 10-year anniversary. That's right, let's go on to the actual twad. Cheers to 10 years and beyond. Next Monday, September 9th, 2024, marks the 10th anniversary of the Destiny franchise. To celebrate, there will be an in-game event featuring in-game exclusive legendary armor and a new title, Bungie rewards, and more. Check back at 8 a.m. PT for the details. They're going to do a vlog. Additionally, Bungie will kick off their new phase for the Destiny 2 titled Codename Frontiers. Again, we don't know what that even means. With a dev insight blog, Destiny 2's game director Tyson Green and narrative director Allison Lurs will outline future goals and ongoing development plans. This will start a series of regular updates to provide concise, direct information about the game's progress. Bungie thanks the community for their support and is excited about the future of Destiny as it continues to evolve. It only took, I don't know how many months to actually have a conversation with you and me. I think it's a little too late when 90%, and here it is, by the way, 90% of the player base has left. We should have had a roadmap or even a slight idea right after the final shape. I'm sorry, the lack of communication has done more harm than anything. Everything they do seems like a desperate attempt to fix a problem they themselves have made. How many times does it take for the game to be dying for them to take a hint and learn a lesson? You can't spell Bungie without incompetence. I'm sorry. There's nothing Tyson Green can do to save this game. If Luke Smith, the Destiny dude, was willing to jump ship, that tells me everything. Note, we are just getting a blog. Meanwhile, other games like Warframe have developers like Digital Extremes who gives weekly live streams about their game and actually talk to the community. But I guess it's never too late for Bungie to do something like write a small blog. I know I have hatred for writing reports, and I remember doing that in college. Though granted, I paid someone else to make me to do those, reports. I had to pay someone to do it. But Bungie, you get paid to do it. Hell, pay me. I'll write your reports. I'll write the blogs. That's right. You fired the people that do that. Gotcha. Before we move on, I just we're talking about the 10-year anniversary. Before everyone gets excited, hyped, like, oh my God, 10 years of Destiny. We're going to celebrate. Bungie's going to do something really cool, right? Like maybe like a raid activity or something like a special activity, right? Right? Wrong. This is it. This is what you're going to do. Spoilers. Let's pop the bubble because there's going to be people who are going to try to defend Bungie. So let's pop the bubble of why I'm not excited. Legend seal requirements. So the things you're going to have to do for this actual event. Collect all Cade 6 stashes. That's right. in order to get the nice little armor, you're going to spend time in the Pale Hearts collecting Cade stashes. You love collecting chests, right? Reach Guardian rank 8 or higher, because that's fun. Don't you love doing chores? Complete ritual activities with the Veteran Legend set equipped. Complete timeline reflections. Decrypt engrams at Raoul. Defeat enemies and loot engrams in the Skywatch with the Veteran Legend set equipped. For those who don't know, if I remember correctly, that's in the Cosmodrome, like one of the checkpoint areas. You literally just go to that area. Claim the anniversary armor ornaments from the special deliveries terminal. Yeah. What they don't want you to know is that every armor piece has an Eververse equivalent, so you can just buy them. But yeah, do you think that they were gonna actually make some special event? I don't know, like, oh, let's look at another MMO that does things. Oh wow, WoW is celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they have multiple in-game cosmetics, not just one. Not only that, but they're actually doing something cool with some old content. The 20th anniversary is bringing a new looking raid. The raid will come with looking for raid, normal and heroic difficulties. Black Depths was a massive sprawling dungeon from earlier days of the World of Warcraft. Yeah, they took a dungeon and turned it into a raid. 10 to 15 players. Man, imagine if they said, guys, for this limited time event, we're doing a 12-man raid. Just Crota, 12-man raid, Atheon, 12-man raid, something small. Like, hey, we're going to look at some of the classics of Destiny, and this is 10 years of celebrating. Let's go crazy. Let's do something fun. Chests, guys. We heard you love collecting chests in public spaces. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun, guys? By the way, this is why your game's dying. Stats say everything, Chief. This is why your game's dying. Let's continue. Let's continue, shall we? Let's move on to improving raids and dungeon rotators with the launch of episode Revenant, or episode 2, on October 8th. Destiny 2 is updating its raid and dungeon rotation system. The addition of Warlord's Ruin will bring the total to 8 raids and 8 dungeons, allowing for a weekly rotation of up to 4 featured activities, doubling the previous number. This means the maximum wait time for a specific activity to reappear will be 4 weeks. For example, in the week starting October 8th, the featured raids will be the Last Swish raid and Valve Disciple, and the dungeons will be Shattered Throne and Duality. The rotation will continue in the order of Destiny 2's release. So whenever they came out, that's the order they'll come out. The schedule will be shared on Bungie's social media channels. Instead of being in-game where you can see a schedule, like the First Descendant actually shows you rewards on a schedule and you can kind of plan ahead, like, oh, this is the time for me to farm. Instead of having that somewhere in-game, you have to look at social media. You don't have Twitter? Sucks to be you. This change aims to make it easier for players to earn rewards and titles by providing a more predictable, hold on to that word, predictable and frequent rotation of raids and dungeons. Bungie encourages players to provide feedback on the new system to help further improvements. Hold on to the new aspect of this. So instead of fixing a problem, Bungie has decided to slightly fix a problem, slightly. This is a half-ass response that has me and majority of the community up in arms. Bungie, no one wants rotators. You said you're improving and that it's new. It's not new. It's the same system. You're just adding one extra node. No one wants rotators. You're not doing us a favor. You're not improving the game. Hell, even Dado doesn't like rotators. And he's the most elitist of elitists. What other games do this? What other games have rotators or take their pinnacle in-game activity and put it on a weekly rotator? No one wants to buy a product and be told they have to wait 4 weeks to play it. If you miss that week, guess what? You gotta wait 4 more weeks. How about you actually listen to the community who has made it loud and clear? No one wants rotators. The concept of rotators is pro-company and anti-gamer. It is literally meant to keep players. It's meant as a player retention, but when 90% of your player base has left, who are you retaining? Let the 20 people who still want to play the game play everything it has to offer. Hell, talk about shooting themselves in the foot. They want to make the game more presentable for new players. How about make the entire game playable instead of gatekeeping it by time? No one cares about prestige of raid guns that have been around for years, especially when everything is basically craftable, which negates the most prestige roles, as once you craft a weapon, you get the god roll on demand. So who cares? There is no defending this. There is nothing that Bungie ball fondlers can try to say like, oh, well, this is why it's necessary. It's not necessary. Tell me another game that is this stupid. Moving onward, we have Hone Your Skills. That's right, Sword Week. Or as many people have been playing it, 1,000 Voices Week. Funny enough, Bungie was about to pull the cord on that, but immediately the moment they said something about it, the community got upset at the news and the previous news about the Choir of One nerfs. Bungie actually caved in because they knew that they couldn't be poking the bear until eventually the bear slaps them in the face. Bungie caved and is letting the 1K week dominate. I think they're starting to learn, let people have fun, and maybe you won't lose 20% of your player base. It's simple. On a serious note, why are we just now trying to do creative and neat kind of concepts or events? How many other versions of this could have happened sooner? Why not have a Rocket Week or a Fusion Week or hell, a Sniper Week or maybe Solar Week? That's one thing that I miss about the old Solstice of Heroes is that we used to have elemental empowerments. If it's only for 1 week, who cares? Let people have fun. I would love to see more creative ideas like this being applied in the future. Moving on, we have all the little updates. Neat, cool, awesome. We're about to talk about Choir of One. That's right. We're giving some insight. This was drama for your mama. This is kicking off a lot of people being upset about this episode, and rightly so. Bungie is addressing 2 key issues with the new exotic auto rifle, Choir of One. The weapon, which uses special ammo instead of the usual primary ammo, has encountered bugs related to its ammo inventory. The issue includes inventory cap bug. Players can sometimes exceed the intended ammo cap due to a rare glitch involving ammo cap perks and reserve mods. Unexpected ammo buff. The weapon receives an unintended ammo increase that was meant for other special weapons in the most recent update. To correct these problems, Bungie plans to reduce Choir of One's ammo capacity from 250 base and about 370 with reserves to 200 base and 300 reserves. This adjustment aims to balance the weapon's power while maintaining its role in in-game content. Additionally, the point-blank projectile variant of the weapon is dealing about 250% more damage than intended due to an error, which will also be fixed in the upcoming episode Revenant at launch. Let's be honest, people were upset about this change. I even made a video about Bungie about how they literally had the world's first speed run of a nerfing an exotic. It wasn't even a few days of release and it came out that this gun was being tuned. I had so many Bungie bots come to their defense based on the title without actually watching the video and what the main problem really was. It's not a nerf. It's not a nerf. People always complaining. Yada, yada, yada. The biggest issue with Bungie tuning this weapon is twofold. One, when you put something new out there that people paid for, and then you immediately readjust it, bug or not, the community will always see it as a nerf. That's just reality. Secondly, Bungie has a tendency of doing things pro Bungie and not pro gamer. Anything fun is immediately nerfed or hammered. If it's a bug that hinders the player, it always takes forever to fix, regardless if it's an easy one to fix or not. Instead of letting things play out that benefit the player, they just immediately take action. I also will say that if it was just the gun being bugged, it would be more understandable that things happen. Bungie took the time to go into detail about why this happened when you think about the fact that this is 10 years of experience for them, and the fact that the exotic mission itself is a hot, buggy mess, not only locking people out from playing, it also ruined people's experience while playing the mission, as it would soft lock or stop gamers from playing completely. When you look at the bigger picture, it's not hard to understand why people are upset about the tuning of the weapon. People are mad the fact that Bungie is incompetent. And their insight, while it's good for the, and we love transparency, which is something fresh for them, this post tries to make it seem like it's something small that sneaks through the cracks. But there was a lot more than just that. Again, Bungie bots will come to the rescue as they always do, even though Bungie will never notice them. I will never understand why people defend a billion-dollar company as a consumer. I expect quality with my money. But I guess other people lack that kind of respect for themselves. Moving on. Player support report. Known issues. Name change update. Bungie has addressed the issue from August 13th that led to unintended Bungie name changes. To resolve this, all players have been given extra name change tokens regardless of whether they were affected. Some players are still affected and experiencing problems with the token usage or retrieving their old names, and Bungie is investigating these issues. Yeah, just another way of showing how incompetent Bungie is. I don't know how many other games do that. Just incompetence. Encore exotic mission. Here comes some of the bugs I was telling you about. Several problems in the new Encore exotic mission will be fixed in update 8.0.5.4 next week. This update will resolve issues including Encore not appearing in Fire Team Finder, progression blocks during the final boss, and the team wipes from earlier deposits of a connection module. Isn't that great? Again, Bungie's incompetent, that's why people are upset. Grandmaster Nightfall node. A problem affecting access to the Grandmaster Nightfall catch-up node has been identified. Players who completed the previous Grandmaster Nightfalls could not access the node correctly. A fix for this will also be included in update 8.0.5 whatever numbers. This is really stupid because for 6 weeks you couldn't do anything, right? 3 weeks, you do new Grandmaster. Then there's 3 weeks of nothing. You can't progress your seal. 3 weeks, you can do it. Now we're 3 weeks of nothing. Now we do the last 3 weeks. It's so stupid that you get 40 days while everyone else has gilded their gambit and their trials and their competitive seal. People who actually care enough to stick around this long can't even gild their Grandmaster seal, their Conqueror seal, which I've already done mine. Lucky enough, I helped people get through to be able to do theirs, even though they didn't have access. And there's a pro tip. If you can find someone who has access to the nodes, you can both complete them together. This is really stupid. This is just garbage quality. It should never be like this. Just fix your stupid game. Holy crap. 10 years experience. I'm sorry. Like, you can't defend this. You can't defend it. You expect a service, and if it's garbage, you have every right to call it out. And that's it. That's the main things. That has been this week in Destiny. This was a little longer, but we had some extra conversations to be said. Again, this is why people are leaving the game. Bungie has to do not a 360. They need to do a 720. They've got to go whoop, because literally they're screwing themselves and the player. The lack of transparency, the lack of care, the lack of effort, the lack of passion. Someone said in the comment section, and they said it best, this game has lost its soul with so many huge names leaving this game. So many huge names that had such an impact in the story and direction. This game is literally dying. It is dying. You cannot ignore numbers. You can't, as much as people like, oh, it's people, people are always complaining about the game dying. Listen, when people are getting laid off and Sony is absorbing parts of the company, yeah, the game's dying, dumbass. Wake up. I know, even the pay pigs couldn't try to save the game. As stupid as they are, they tried. They're failing. That's why Bungie's trying to do a mobile game, which apparently if you put a title about D3 and mobile, no one watches it. And the bots come in and they're like, oh yeah, you don't know anything about mobile. Go. That's the sound of someone literally, some Bungie balls. Listen, I've heard it all. I've banned so many people in the Shadow Realm. It is baffling that people have no respect for themselves. I take that back. 90% of the player base has respect for themselves. That's why they're gone. The people that try to defend Bungie have zero respect. They grew up being probably slapped around, probably used as a doormat. They probably need to see a therapist because they've probably been abused. It's crazy that people do not respect their money. That people do not respect their time. It is crazy. And I will always stand up for those who have stuck around and I didn't trigger my job. I'm a counselor inside the school, a school counselor. Outside of the school, I'm not a school counselor. Consider me a guidance counselor. There's a difference. Consider me a guidance counselor. I will be your video game guidance counselor, and I will be brutally honest because no one else will be honest with you. I'll give you the truth. I'll give you the facts. I'll give you reality as it is, not what you want to be told. I will tell you exactly the problem. I may not have the answers to fix it, but I can give you the guidance of what direction to go. And I'm telling you right now, put soul back in the game. Listen to your community, not these half-ass improvements. There is no freaking way that you can make it sound like you are doing people a favor by making it double. Wow. How about just let people play the game? They paid for it. Let them play it. And talking about new players, making a new player have to wait 4 weeks to play core content is stupid. You're stupid. And that's it. That's the Bungie rant, or one of the Bungie rants for the week. I have zero faith in this company, and I hope that Sony takes over. I pray that do. I'm not asking for people to get fired. I'm just asking for Sony to fire and remove the leadership and let Sony decide who's competent enough to stay at the company. The people that are incompetent should absolutely be fired and removed. I will absolutely always advocate for anyone. It is not my job to support 800 people at their job, because if I didn't do my job, guess what? I would be fired. Welcome to reality. No one gets a participation trophy. No one gets we're going to make sure you get paid. I'm going to spend money so you keep your job. No, I'm sorry. Let's live in a realistic world. No one cares whether you have a job or not, because they're worried about themselves. We live in that reality. I'm not gonna sit there and like, oh, I'm so sorry. I need to suck it up and enjoy the quality of whatever it is just so people can keep their job. That's not how it works. That's not how consumerism works. That's not how it should work. And yes, this last bit is a rant because I keep seeing people try so hard to defend some of this garbage, and it is infuriating. I understand that especially in America, the educational system has failed you. I can only do so much to try to help people and children think logically, but I know you were failed at an educational level. But dear God, self-respect should be something you learn at a fundamental base. Oh my God. I'm out. Peace. Now I'm out.